Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the AFC West podcast. I am Rob Logan, and I am joined by my co-host, Omar. What's up, Omar? How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Rob? How you doing today, my brother?
I am good. Listen, just having the two of us on after last week, it might be a little bit of a depressing show. So I'll try to stay as upbeat as possible going through some of these games, but neither one of our teams really fared too well last week.
That is an understatement. But you will find that we talked about this, we've had this conversation. You know how I felt before the season started. You know what my prognosis was for the Raiders. So while I am disappointed, I am not at all hardly surprised and actually a little encouraged because, again, if he doesn't get to that 6-win plateau, hopefully we get the Fire McDaniels protest my brother Derek Club started that I joined. You need to get your own started, a Fire Brandon Staley, and start getting a little petition going.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, this is getting even worse and worse because I really do think with the way the defense is playing, that if he loses this week, it could be over.
Ooh.
There's reports. Mr. First Down, what's up? What's up, Sam? What's going on? Listen, I'm reading a lot of different articles. I don't know, one of them's from The Athletic, so I would think it's pretty. I'm assuming they do their follow up and their due justice to make sure things. But they're saying how Staley has lost the team.
Yep.
They're saying how apparently he's saying one thing, the team is doing another. They're not on the same page.
Oh, that's never good.
They pointed it out specifically with the way the cornerbacks and safeties are playing. So where there's a little bit of fuel, hopefully there's some fire brewing, and possibly, like I said, if they are at 2 and 2 and 4, 2 and 5, 2 and 6, I could see them getting a jump on trying to find somebody to coach them. I just don't know what really is out there. So
at this point, at this point, I empathize with you because I was just about to say we went through this whole spiel, both of us on both of our teams last week, pretty much the same exact thing, and then the Chiefs go out and rack up a season high 483 yards on Brandon Staley, who, let us remind everyone, as you have mentioned plenty of times, is the defensive mind, was brought in for the defense and has the pieces necessary to have a good defense, but yet cannot get right on either side of the ball, and especially the one that he should be.
Correct. That's well said, and that's exactly how, as a Charger fan, it's really I'm in disbelief on just how bad that defense is. Every single team sets yardage highs playing against them. I mean, they're ranked 31st, 36. They're the worst ranked.
Very low. Yeah. You know what? I read a stat the other day, which blew my mind. I think it came from The Athletic though. But it was talking about Staley, and he has not fielded a unit ranked better than 20th in scoring or total yards in defense since he took over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the whole reason, like you said, he was brought in. He was brought in because they felt that they needed somebody on the defensive end. It's just tough. It's just tough. And we brought this up. We talked about the Chiefs. Obviously, Chargers versus Chiefs, 31-17. Chiefs had over 450 yards of total offense. Mahomes throws for over 400. Kelsey, 180 yards, 1 touchdown, 12 receptions. They had no answer for him. Like, how do you not? I mean, don't get me wrong. Kelsey is a hard matchup for most people, but how do you not have Derwin James try to cover him? Why are you not putting your best defensive player against their best offensive player? Why are you letting him get free, get free right off the line? Why are you not jamming him? Why are you not making it difficult? They went early to a man-to-man. He ran right through him, and then right away they switched, and then the next thing you know, he just sits down in the pockets. Boom. It's like laughable to the other team, I bet. And it's just tough. And like I said, I do not understand how they do not match up and go best versus best. Because listen, I'd rather lose with my best player against their best player. And if that other player is still better or still wins, then hey, that's that. I live with that. But to try to like disguise their defense, which obviously they're not doing a good job of disguising, so I might not even use that word. But to run the defense that they're running and just have Mahomes just sit back there and pick them apart is just bad. And all around the whole defense is just bad. They're not getting any pressure on the quarterback. Bosa's not getting any pressure. I don't know what's up with him. He always seems to have something that is wrong, whether it be his toe or his fingernail or something that he has an excuse. Mac had those six sacks, but that was basically it. He hasn't had sacks since then. So you're not getting any pressure on the quarterbacks. They're just sitting back there in a pocket and just picking
now,
them.
When does that become coaching and defensive scheming? Because, I mean, those players are amazing that you just mentioned, from Derwin James to Khalil Mack to Bosa. Those are all amazing pieces that most just basically average defensive coordinators would be able to make something out of with that, but yet and is it because he has offense too that he's too concerned with? Is it because he's concerned with the whole team? I realize now what you're saying with the losing the team. He did that a long time ago, but still, within the past 3 years, you're telling me that you have not been able to, with all of these pieces, to formulate a defense. And even if Travis Kelce, as you mentioned, is the best tight end in the league, can get open against anybody, is going to do damage against most teams, that's coaching if you're not putting your best player against their player. That's your decision that you made. And it's also scheme that during the week you didn't figure out ways to maybe put a man on him while he's crossing through screens, maybe having a double team on him if he goes deep, things like that. So, I mean, I don't know. I ask you, you're the Chargers fan, how much do you put on that on coaching on him?
Well, when you have great players who are obviously great players, I mean, they are good players. I think they have made enough of a name for themselves as being relatively good. So it's not like we're misled with somebody who everybody else is saying is great, but really isn't. So, I mean, these guys have proven themselves. So I just don't understand why there's no stunts. There's no, it just seems like all they do is bull rush. It's the same thing every single time. It's a very, very it's almost like high school defense. You know what I mean? That's how dulled down this is. And this guy was supposed to be the guy who, so you're telling me he has the best defense when he's with the Rams. And you look who the Rams had on that defense. I mean, they were basically anchored by Aaron Donald, right?
Right. Yep.
I mean, it's not like they had that much more talent than what the
Chargers. I would say the Chargers probably have more talent.
Exactly.
I mean, they had Jalen Ramsey too for a couple of years, but I would still say the Chargers have more talent.
Right. And so you're telling me that you can go from, so what, I'm going to back up one second. What that
and the offense is better too.
Well, yeah.
Well, at least the offensive pieces that you have are better. At least I think.
What that tells me is that he had a plan, but he's been figured out, and now he doesn't know what to do. That's what it tells me. Just like we talk about it, you need a coach that can adapt, that can figure things out, that can game plan, that can go in at halftime and make adjustments, do different things to try to get them to work. This guy obviously cannot do that. He was almost like a one-trick pony.
Wow.
And now that defenses have figured him out, he hasn't been able to come back with anything to show that they can stop anybody. I mean, it's just horrible. And they keep bringing it up. It's funny too, because, and I don't want to over defend, but they keep bringing up how Herbert has like all these real close losses. Like they have so many, like they have the most losses, I think, within 3 points over the last 3 years or something like that. And it's really a pretty big, staggering number. As a Charger fan, I'm trying not to even look at it. But
I believe it. From watching your games, I know that y'all are probably leading that. So.
But what they don't understand, though, is that a lot of the times Herbert puts them in position to win. It's just the defense can't stop anybody. They can't stop somebody from getting 3, or they can't stop somebody from scoring a touchdown on the last drive. It just seems like most of the time, the ball is in the hands of the opposing offense, and they go right down and score. It doesn't matter if there's 30 seconds left on the clock, if there's a minute 30, whatever. They're going down and they're scoring. And that's almost how you feel as a Charger fan. And I would like to see how many of those losses were with Herbert and with the ball at the end and doing something. Like the final play has never been an interception. I think like once. And that was because he was really trying to just force something in that really wasn't there.
Right.
But that's not really how these games end. They're ending with, a field goal or a touchdown or something. And it's getting a little out of control, but
I mean, I would not be happy if I were a Chargers fan to lose that many games that close. It's got to be heartbreaking to be at the precipice of victory and then just to give it away somehow, whether offensively or defensively. But again, I've been doing this a lot lately. I've been coming back to finding myself putting the fault more on coaches these days because, the players can only do so much with what they're given. Offensive players can only play so much within their position, whether they're an offensive lineman, whether they're a running back, whatever it is, right? For a wide receiver, you get the ball as much as the ball is thrown to you. On defense, right? It's more of an effort sort of position than maybe the skill offensive players, but it's still chalked up to scheme and how you can get those really great players that you have to use their abilities best, right? So, I just go back to, okay, well, if your defense can't stop anybody and you're supposed to be the defensive mind, then why are you not able to get Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, right? Yeah, Joey Bosa open. Why are you not making the right decisions with, Derwin James or bringing in J.C. Jackson on a 5-year contract and then doing nothing with him? Why is Herbert getting sacked 4 times a game?
JC got toasted.
Sure, I get it. It happens. Yeah, but that's also a coach's decision, right?
I wasn't crying about that move.
I get it. But I'm just saying, even Herbert getting sacked 4 times, that's an offensive line issue, which I put on the coach because you're the one that picked the offensive lineman that we're going to start, and you're the one that picked the offensive line coach or coordinator who's going to pick out the scheme that the offensive line is going to run every play. So it gets worse when you get to coaches like Staley and McDaniels, and it just sticks out like a sore thumb how bad they are. But good coaches don't make these mistakes. They only do that rarely. And when they do, you see it like Belichick right now where things are going haywire.
No, I totally agree with that. And Before we get to your coach and your game and your Raiders, let's real quick. We'll talk. Broncos played the Packers. They won 19-17. Basically, they won with their kicker. I mean, their kicker scored 13 points out of that 19 points. So congratulations to Lutz is his name. Congratulations, you basically beat the Packers the other night because I think Russell Wilson only had 194 yards throwing. So there's not much there. I can't really say that much, and I mentioned to this before the start of the show. I mean, Broncos have the same amount of wins as the Chargers, so I can't say too much or make too much fun of the Broncos. But that was a tough game. Luckily, like I said, their kicker was on and was able to come through with 13 points, 13 out of their 19. Your Raiders, another game that was probably winnable, I would think, by most people. Raiders versus the Bears without Justin Fields quarterbacking. Raiders go down 30-12. Only had barely over 200 yards of total offense. So what's your take on the game? What's your take on the offense itself? I mean, I know you had Hoyer in there for a while. Then you brought in, I believe you brought in O'Connell at the end there. Mm-hmm. Should they just stick with O'Connell? What are your thoughts?
Well, first, let me go back a second to the Broncos because we don't have the same amount of wins. So I will look down on them and talk very much crap about them. So let me take care of that for you real quick.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. The Broncos are trash. The Broncos are horrible. They're even worse than y'all, and they're even worse than us. Even if y'all have the same record. They are a poorly constructed team. They have a lot of a lot of skilled offensive players that could be good. And they have a defense that could be good with the pieces that they have. But they're not constructed well in the fact that the individual pieces do not fit together well as a whole. Not to mention the coach in place there is, as we mentioned, not shiny Sean Payton with the gold helmet from New Orleans. No. This is not the same guy. So the Broncos suck. They're horrible. At this point, Russell Wilson there's no coming back from where he's gotten himself. I tried to give him a chance at the beginning of the season saying, there's no way the quarterback that we saw 2 years ago that was awesome, MVP caliber has gone this far, but there's no way that you can continue to have less than 100 yards, less than 200 yards passing with those skill players on that offense, no matter the coaching or not, and that not be a Russell Wilson issue as well. So I put that both on them. But they're basically waiting. And actually what I'm hearing from Jake and the people that are inside the facility there, what he tells me is that it will, and I think we talked about this briefly as a joke, I think, but them bringing in Stidham and just kind of like, walking out the rest of Wilson's contract for the rest of the year. And, they got that Walmart money. They can eat it if they want to. But I don't see how that's feasible. But they're trash. They're trash. So I don't really want to talk about them. The Packers aren't that great either. So it was just and it perfectly correlates with the Raiders and Bears. Two trash teams playing each other in a disgusting game. To be honest with you, I was not excited to watch this game at all. We got beat by a guy named Tyson Bagent, which I had to do. I had to do some research on him, my friend.
I was going to bring him up.
I'll let you go ahead. But I didn't know him, but I did find a funny stat that he was the first starting Division II quarterback since 2010. So what's your information you have on this guy?
No. I actually, that was one of the things I wrote down in my notes. Tyson, I was just amazed too at that stat. Division II, definitely came through for the Bears. Not that they're going to have any quarterbacking controversy or anything, but definitely, apparently he has a very good arm. Very smart. Kind of reminds me a little bit of a Brock Purdy, to where like he's a smart, good quarterback. That's what he is, you know.
Hold on. All right. Sorry about that. I gotta plug my computer in for a dust. When you lose to someone who most people don't even know how to pronounce his name, I have an issue. The other issue I have is not more with Mr. Bagent, the secret agent, who, by the way, did you know the last two quarterbacks in 2010 was, do you know who they were?
No.
Two quarterbacks, John Kitna and Todd Bowman.
Oh my God. Wow.
How about that for a throwback? Anyways, when you piss off the football gods, they're going to pay you. They're going to make you pay for it. So why on earth are you not starting the rookie quarterback? Why are you starting a 38-year-old, excuse me, now, birthday last month. Happy birthday, Brian Hoyer. I still don't care. Happy birthday, but you shouldn't have been starting. Why are you starting this guy when you have the rookie that you drafted for a reason? We're not good. We're not going to make the playoffs. You know that. Don't try to win games for your job. How about you try to develop the franchise? How about you try to develop the quarterback that you picked? So you know what? The Bears, they made the right decision. They started the rookie. They didn't go with Nathan Peterman, their number 2, who they could have. No, they said, we know what he's going to offer. Let's see what we got in the kid. That's what we should have done. We didn't. The football gods made us pay for it. And honestly, I'm not even mad. I to be completely honest, I volunteered at my church for the first half of the game. So I didn't even watch the first half of the game. And I wasn't upset when I got home because we only had 3 points and I heard we did nothing on offense. So I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, just barely over 200 yards total offense. Only 36 yards rushing, which, you know, obviously you have Jacobs there as your running back. You would think that, you know, they would have relied on him heavily, but it just for some reason didn't turn out that way. It just goes back to coach. I'm sorry, but I know this whole theme of coaches, but a lot of this stuff just, you know, when people like you and I can just sit there and go, well, why aren't they running the ball to help them out when you have a good running back there? Yep. It just doesn't make sense. It's I don't want to say I'm thinking simplistically, but to me, the easiest way to slow the game down and to, you know, try to win ball control so the other team doesn't score is to run the ball and to, you know, keep it simple. And
yeah, you're not thinking simplistically, you're thinking logically. And
that's a better word.
I wholeheartedly agree with your logic, and I believe that it is on the coaching. It's McDaniels. They got to get rid of him. Shout out to my brother Derek Club starting the petition. Fire McDaniels right now. I'm tired of it. It doesn't matter if he wins. He's not going to get any better. The franchise is not going to get any better. We're just wallowing. We're like a doggy paddling in the pool. He's not going anywhere. He's just sitting there paddling, having fun. But we're not having fun. The Raiders fans are not having any fun.
No, it's obviously it's not fun. That's my son right there saying sup.
Hey, shout out.
He must be somewhere in his house watching us. So shout out to my son. We have a show, Omar. We do a show together, an NBA show, and our first show was this past Monday.
Nice.
He does pretty well. I got to tell you, he was very. I let him prepare for what we're going to say. I write a little script, and he does his research. So he came through pretty good on Monday. So I got to give him a little credit.
Hey, that's awesome. Shout out to your son, because I've always wanted to get my dad on, and I haven't been able to get him on yet. But well, maybe one day I'll be able to get him on. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. It's always fun with family when they did. He writes, "Yes, you did. I did my. Yep, you did your best. Yep, you were good.
All you can do, brother. All you can do is your best."
We're big Sixers fans, so there's a lot of Sixers talk, but not to get away from what was happening. But yes, very disappointed in coaching. You know, they always, you know, in sports as a whole, when it's baseball, when it's basketball, when these teams are underachieving like they do, usually it's always the first one to go is the coach, because obviously you're not going to be able to change the whole team.
Right.
So the coach always seems to take the fall. I think Staley is definitely taking the fall. I can't see it happen. Like I said,
if it doesn't happen at the break, it's going to happen after the year.
Oh yeah, but here's the thing, though. See, and this is what's going to happen. And once again, they'll wait till the end of the year because they're too cheap and they don't want to pay somebody to come in and then have to pay somebody again. Even though really all they would need to do is move Kellen Moore to head coach,
interim head coach for the
and then just find a somebody who can coach the defense or somebody. I mean, I'm assuming there's somebody on that team that can do that. But
who is your defensive coordinator, anyways?
I don't know. He doesn't call the plays, so it's obviously it doesn't really matter. But so if they wait until the end, then a lot of coaches are not going to come to San Diego or to LA. And you need to get a jump on somebody. You need to start talking to somebody now, not waiting, because there's other teams out there that will probably be a little bit more desirable, will pay a little bit more than what the Chargers will. And you're always going to you're going to squeak by with something, and I hate that. That's how it's always been. When you look back at, Anthony Shaw, whatever his name was, and all these McCoy and all these guys, I mean, they're all just like, they don't want to go spend the money on a good coach. And we haven't had a good coach since Schottenheimer was here.
Wow.
And
is that 95?
Well, Schottenheimer is he was fired after the 2000.
Okay, I'm thinking early Schottenheimer must have been the Redskins. I'm thinking about,
he was fired 2006 or 7.
Okay. Okay.
They were the best team in the league, 14-2, and then they fired him.
I do remember that. Remember that.
One of the worst things ever.
Oh, I put that in my mind. I remember that now. Wow, what a horrible decision that is.
Yep. And the guy who
did they do that?
I have no idea. The guy who got them to the Super Bowl, their one Super Bowl, was Bobby Ross. As their head coach. Interesting. Yeah. So, all this stuff with coaching, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. As
I said on the bottom line, all of them need to be fired except Andy Reid. That whole conference needs to clear out its head coaches.
Yep. I totally agree. So looking forward, let's go real quick. Looking forward, the Raiders have the Lions this week. Coming off a bad loss, the Lions. Mm-hmm. Raiders are getting 8. Over under is 46.5.
Okay. 46.5, huh? Okay, that's right about where I got my score.
Okay, so what do you got?
I want to know what you got first, actually. I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
Well, I would still, let me just say this. I would take the Lions. I would take the Lions in the 8 points, and I would take the over in this game because I do feel that the Lions will score some points. I could see them scoring in like the 30s, around that. And maybe the Raiders coming up with 2 touchdowns, maybe like 17 points to put them kind of to get that over going. So I see it like a 30-something to like 17 type game.
Okay, yeah. So like Detroit Mail on IOW Sports said 30. We talked in a podcast because he's a Lions fan. He said 35-17. Okay, so that's about right. My score is 31-14. It's going to be a blowout. I mean, you can double that 8 and give them 16 and it's still going to cover. The Lions are pissed off that they lost last game. They're not happy at all. Dan Campbell's going to have them coming out biting more kneecaps than usual. And the Raiders are a poor team, and there's just no way that they will be able to compete. It doesn't matter if they bring Jimmy G back, which is not, he's not going to be back. They're going to run out the rookie, which makes it even worse because you're running out the rookie against that ferocious defense. Yeah, it's going to be bad. I don't even care. I'll watch because I'm a Raiders fan, but I'm not expecting to have a good time watching it.
Doesn't that just suck? Like Sundays are just the worst, you know. Everybody,
I'm so used to it.
I know. I'm
20 years.
I'm used to it too, and that's why for me, I get so hyped up for Saturdays with college football. I'm a big college football fan. I love watching college football, so I get real hyped up for that. Like I actually get more hyped up like Saturday mornings with game day, and then you roll into the games. Like I got food cut up, like I'm making like wings and stuff. I do all that on Saturday because my Sundays are just like they're like rain all day. That type of day, you know what I mean? Like you just know what's going to happen. So I do more on Saturdays than I do for Sundays.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, I'm a fan, so I'm still there with you, rooting every play, and come on, let's win. But I'm also a realist, and I know the lines are really good, and I know we suck, and I don't expect that to change on Monday. So
yeah. The Chiefs are versing the Broncos, so this should be at least a loss for the Broncos.
Yeah.
7 is the line. Broncos getting 7. Over under is 45.5. Definitely, I would still take the Chiefs given the 7, and I would take the over as well because I could see the Chiefs putting up some big numbers.
What was the over under again?
45.5.
Oh yeah, I'll take the over on that as well. And yeah, I liked your astute analysis last week on the Chargers and Chiefs and the close game that they would have, which did come out to be true. And that does usually happen in division games, as we talked about. But that's not happening here. The Chiefs are just way too much of a better team. They're gonna blow them out. I don't see them winning. I don't see them winning by less than 17.
That's almost spot on right there. This is one of those games where
I could see like a 35-14, like a 21-point victory. I could see something like that.
Yeah. I could see the Chiefs in the 30s and the Bronx. Yeah. And then the last game, Chargers versus the Bears. Now, the line this is kind of interesting. The line for this game is the Chargers are given 8.5 points to the Bears.
Where are they playing at?
I think they're in Chicago. Wait, no. Wait, they're in LA. Hold on. Let me double check that.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. They're giving 8 points. Okay, sorry. I thought you meant getting. Sorry, that's my fault.
Yeah, no, they're giving.
Okay, so they're at home. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about the Bears earlier. They're playing with a rookie quarterback. I mean, there should be no way you lose this game.
And even better, Omar, that's this Sunday night game.
Oh yeah. Y'all can't lose this game. This is a must-win. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go as far as to agree with you. If you don't lose this game, Staley's going to get fired.
A Sunday night game. It's going to be well televised. They're all going to talk about Staley before the game, during the game. Yep. His name's going to be brought up many, many times. Yep. So there's going to be a lot of focus on him. Now, here's the thing.
That would be a bad loss. Oh, that would be a bad loss.
But here seems to be the thing with Staley. This will be a game that he will blow out the Bears.
Okay.
And everybody be like, oh, okay. Like everything will subside down.
Right.
It'll be like a false sense of doing good. You know what I mean? And it'll just come crashing right back down the following week because they got the Jets the following week. But that's what happens every single time Staley gets to that point where his head's on that chopping block.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something that happens that delays it. And that's all they've been doing for the last year and a half has been delaying the inevitable with him. So I can guarantee you, I guarantee you something like that's going to happen where the Chargers, they'll probably put up like 40 points and Bears probably only give up, go 14 or something like that. And it'll be a stomp down. And then everybody will be like, oh, all right, well, Staley isn't that bad then.
There's the Chargers we expected to see.
Yeah. Oh, they're finally playing like the way they should be.
Right.
And then they're going to go right back to playing the other way.
Oh, no. I hate that for you. I don't want that to happen to you.
You know? It's just, listen, at some point, it's like these things where you got to rip off the Band-Aid, like you just got to rip it off and just start.
Yep.
So hopefully this is a Band-Aid game where things don't go. And I mean, obviously I can't not root for the Chargers.
Right. But you're not going to be mad if they lose because then you get a fresh start.
I think so.
Yes.
I think so.
I'm in the same boat.
And if anything, if those reports are true from the Athletic, that he's losing the team and that type of stuff, and if these guys like Bosa, like James, they start speaking out, like you haven't really heard that much from them.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But I guarantee you another bad loss, and I guarantee you those mics are going to be on and in front of those guys.
And they should be. I mean, they should be.
Yeah.
At some point, you've got to be held accountable for the results that you put on the field. And the results that he has put on the field do not match the intention of what the Chargers had when they hired him, and especially defensively. And again, if you're not going to even get right what you're supposed to be good at, then how can we expect you to get right us to win a championship?
It was one thing, I don't want to keep dwelling, but it was one thing in the beginning when, he was a young coach and he made like stupid mistakes with like,
it's cute. He made a little funny mistake.
Going for it when he shouldn't have and stuff like that. And it was like laughable. And like, you're like, okay, well, he's a young coach. He'll learn. He really hasn't learned that much.
Never learned.
But now, glaringly how bad the defense is, it's just bad.
Your calling card cannot be what the team is failing on.
Exactly. So that's how I'm looking at things. Like you said, Omar, if I'm rooting for them, but if they lose, I'm not going to be upset.
Okay.
I don't know, but I could see 2-6, like I said, and then they got the following week. They're playing at New York at MetLife against the Jets, which is not going to be an easy game.
An early noon game?
I'm going to that game. It's a Monday night game.
Oh, it's Monday night. Okay.
So they have a Sunday game, they have a Sunday night game, and a Monday night game.
Well, yeah, you're right. Staley better get in gear because he has 2 chances, and if he blows these 2 chances, wow. Yeah, he better not do it on a huge stage. That would not be good.
Yep. Yeah, I'm actually this is going to be my son's first football game. So we're seeing the Chargers versus the Jets. So
that's amazing.
It should be interesting. So but we'll see how it is. Hopefully this is a better week for both of us. I hate seeing the scores where the Chargers keep getting annihilated. I'm sure you're the same way with the Raiders. So hopefully it's better this week. Hopefully you have a tougher game than I do, but
I'm not expecting anything like that. So I'm just smiling to hope for you, but for me, no, I'm not. I'm expecting a blowout. So it is what it is. Hopefully I see some good progress with the rookies. That's what I hope.
Yep. And Omar, what do you have going on this week? Anything cool?
Yes, sir. No, actually I'm taking the week off, rest of the week off. I did a bunch of shows, as usual, the Bottom Line Sports. So everybody can check us out on Sundays at 7:30 Eastern and then Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. We go live, the Bottom Line Sports. You got Flo, Canteen, Hot Take Jake, and myself. Talk a bunch of trash, talk a bunch of sports, everything. NFL on Sundays, and then Tuesday is our day where we do all the other sports. So join us there. Subscribe at the Bottom Line Sports as well. Subscribe at Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS. That is my sports network. Me and my friends talk a bunch there, so you can find some cool videos there. We had our combat sports special. last week for UFC 294. So go check that out. Clubber D, as always, does an amazing. And let my hair down. It is already down. I'm going to let it down some more in Vegas.
Nice. Very cool.
So should be a good time.
Cool. Well, I just want to throw out there real quick. Again, we talked about it last week. October 30th, Mischief Night. If you are in the New Jersey area, go down to the shore and meet Bully Ray, Bubba Ray, whatever you want to call him, Dudley. He's going to be hosting a Raw viewing party. It starts at 7 with a Q&A with him, and then you start watching Raw. And then there's also a contest for best costume, and the winner of the contest will receive 2 tickets to WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. So you will see him. He'll be there. It'll be very, very cool. I'm sure he's got some cool stuff going on in store for everybody there. I'm going to try to swing by because my son is actually right around the corner practicing basketball that night. So we might hop in there real quick and see him and say hi to him. So and then we have with my son, we do our NBA show Monday nights. We did that. We started that this past Monday, so check that out. And all that can be seen on the Let's Talk Sports Network. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Check off the notifications button for your favorite show so you know when we're on, and give us a like. But Omar, as always, thank you so much for spending the time with me to discuss the West, and have fun and rest up. I don't really know if you can rest up, but enjoy yourself.
I'm definitely going to rest up the next couple of days before I go. So we'll do that, and then I'll see you next week, and I'll be much rested for our show next week. So
all right, Sarah, I'll talk to you.
All right, brother. Take care. Have a great day.
Yep.